Well, good evening, everyone. It is May 1st, and I hope you're having a great Wednesday. Before we get into the analysis here, I just want to go through the results that we're experiencing here over the last couple of weeks. This is the more or less the manual scorecard that I keep starting at April 17th, which is the week before last. And you can see that all the blue colored cells are those stocks that have already hit their ticker symbols. And we're just a hair away from a few of these hitting that target. So we're right on track. Right now, from the week before last, we have 51 out of the 75 have hit. And if you look off to the right, we had 12 stars and 2 double stars. That, 14 stars overall, and 11 out of the 14 have hit, and there's a couple of more that look like they're going to hit. So we're doing extremely well with the percentage of accuracy regarding the hit rate. Now, from last week, I'm recording this now, so I'm hoping that we don't get too many repeat tickers, because the ones that do not have the blue colored cells, those are ones like BA and TLT that still have open targets. So if you do submit those ticker symbols, then I'm basically going to reiterate the targets that are already on the screen, unless there's some stocks that went far away from those targets. So I'm just scrolling this so you can go back into the recording to look at this. We're not quite at the halfway mark, but for 5 trading days, that's a lot of targets being hit. But if you look at SQQQ, and I love these, it's when we put we do a 2-part forecast, you see. So Joe Dyke submitted SQQQ, we hit on the downside and we hit on the upside. And there's a couple of others here. SOXL has already hit on one, and we're waiting for the other side. So, when Adrian sets up the algorithm or the program to score these, we actually get extra points when we get 2-part forecast targets that are hit. So that is that. Now let's get right to the charts. For those who are brand new, thank you so much for joining Sticky Trades. Hope you're having a good time already. We have an action-packed hour here. It only took me 3 minutes to go over that. So what I'm going to do is ask Nod if he could start picking ticker symbols from the Q&A box, and then I'm going to get to work with some targets here. So go ahead, Nod. Give me
All right, let's do this, AJ. Let's go. Let's kick off with Meta. META for George H. and Rich H, please.
Okay, Meta, here's a mega cap stock already. And, if you look back at the targets, see these? This one's done a great job hitting targets along the way. And what that means is that this one does a good job of following the technical signals. Now, I already have a price target hit here, 470, which is more or less the Fibonacci retracement. Now I'm going to keep that target in place of 470, and the main reason is because we have a bullish engulfing candle. Now, obviously, the stock is trading around 439, so that's going to be about a $30 rally in the price of the stock if that target hits. But I think there is a good shot of that happening. I'm going to put this as a star favorite, mainly because if you look down below, today the CCI crossed with a buy signal. We have a positive divergence here, a slight one on the stochastic. We have a wide divergence from the moving average. We had a drop in volume yesterday. You see that? That was a drop in volume on the way down with an inverted hammer. Now I start off slowly and then I ramp it up. So I'm just giving you all the educational content at the beginning, right? But when you have a bullish candle like an inverted hammer followed by a bullish candle that's a bullish engulfing with all these oscillators, take out your trading checklist and you'll see why I have that target at 470 and why it's on the star favorite list. So that's for Meta. All right, next one.
All right, good start. Let's go DraftKings DKNG for Zen and Mike Garcia, please.
All right, this one, you can see that this one did a good job hitting targets in the past. You see this? Now, I'm going up on this one, but it's not going to be a star favorite. And it's not going to be very big because it closed right around 41.82, and I'm putting a 43.05 target. Why did I drop it right there? Because that's where the moving average is. And you can see that we have mixed signals down below. We have the CCI hinging up, but we have the stochastic hinging lower. So we got a conflict down there. We don't have a wide enough move from that moving average. Therefore, I can't put it on the star favorite list. And that's probably one I wouldn't go directional with, but that for you option traders out there, this is one where an iron condor might work for you. Just throwing some ideas out for you. All right.
And earnings is tomorrow after the close on DKNG.
Thank you very much. And by the way, if you did submit a stock that has earnings coming out like before the opening tomorrow, I would not submit that one because, with the way earnings have been, take a look at some of these stocks that are getting pounded or, bought up in the after hours after earnings. Say Allstate was one of them. It came out with earnings. So you can't really forecast the manipulation that takes place in the after hour and pre-hour trading. So we're just going with the technical signals. Thank you, Anthony. Next.
All right, let's go AA for Gino, please.
All right, this one hit the downside target, as you can see right here. Done a great job of that. Now the volume is still increasing on the way down. So I'm going to go out on a limb and try to get some extra credit points here and say, you know what? I think we're going to go a little bit lower, not much. And then in fact, I'll do a 5-part forecast. Here we go. All right. Then I think we're going to have a drop in volume. Upon the drop in volume, I think the CCI is going to pivot up. Then we will start to see the price move up as the stochastic starts to go up. Now, this one is a great trading stock. So I'm going to do the stochastic. See, we have a positive divergence here on the stochastic. So let me slow it down just a little bit. Okay. Here we have a low on the stochastic. You see that? Here we have a slightly higher low on today's candle, but we have a much higher low on the stochastic. You see that? So that's why it's a positive divergence. So here's a star favorite, but the star favorite is going to the upside, right? So we'll look for the drop in volume, and I'm going to put the star favorite target on the upside for Alcoa. It's a great stock to trade. You got a good range for you swing traders out there, and for the option traders, obviously, you got a good selection of even short-term options that are pretty cheap out here. All right, next I got to start.
Oh, I need the targets on those.
Oh, I didn't? Okay. Downside target 33.62. Drop in volume. CCI and stochastic starting to head up. Then the upside target of 36.63. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's get an update on Disney, please, for Sampath, please.
We haven't had Disney in a long time, but take a look. I mean, this was a longer term target. You see how nicely that target worked out? And if you're brand new, again, this is not like it's not a magic trick or anything like that. I put these targets out in a diagonal line so that it mimics or more or less resembles past angles and durations of those up and down legs, right? Now, we have a conflict here. See, the stochastic is crossing to the downside. CCI is still going down. I really can't do much on the upside on this one just yet because the momentum is still going, excuse me, momentum is still going lower. So I'm going just a couple of dollars to the downside at 108.80, not a star favorite. Next.
All right, great. Thank you so much. Let's go with CMG for Frank, please.
Oh, this one is a wildcat. I mean, look at this. This had an upside target, downside target, hit the upside target over here, but it's still waiting to fill that downside target. I'm going downside on this, and this is another star favorite. Now, I'm going to still put it as a star favorite, even though we have a drop in volume. And the main reason for that is because of the sell-off that we've seen today in the last hour of trading. I was on with one of our VIPs, and Bob and I were talking and watching the market get pounced after, it rallied because the Fed Chairman Powell said that, they're going to keep rates unchanged, you would think immediately the markets would have dropped, but they rallied that. That looked like a huge bull trap to me. You know, that's one of the reasons why we had the music out there for you bulls out there. But that looked like a bull trap. So I'm going downside at $3,084.62. That's a star favorite to the downside. Next.
All right, let's go Kava, CAVA for our generous friend Roby.
Yeah, this one's going down. Here's another star favorite to the downside. You could see that in the past, it's done a good job hitting targets. This was a channel that was broken. This is a clear-cut pivot point. So I'm starting my diagonal line right there at the close, and I'm going down to the moving average. So we have, I don't know, maybe $3 to the downside there at 64.35. There's another star favorite for you. Next.
Nice. Let's revisit Apple, please, for Eric and Robert, please.
All right, Eric and Robert, there we go. Targets hitting all over the place. This is still an upside target that's left open. We do have a pivot. We do have just a hair above that momentum line. I'm not going to put this as a star favorite, but I'm going slightly lower on Apple because I do think the CCI will cross that momentum line tomorrow. Then I would, if it does cross the momentum line, I'd probably go a little bit lower. But right now, it's above the momentum line, so it's 167.38. Target to the downside, not a star favorite. Next.
Nice. Let's go ExxonMobil, please. XLM for Danny Yang.
Yeah, a lot of action in oil. And here's another one that has done a good job in the past of hitting targets. Look at this. Upside target hit, downside hit, upside hit, upside hit. This one's open, but hit and downside hit. I'm going downside. Look at the volume on that. Now, it doesn't look like a big move lower, right? But that's about $2 to almost $2 to the downside. And that's 114.35. Not a star favorite. Not a star favorite at all.
Nice. Let's go Broadcom, AVGO for Grimmy, please.
All right, Grimmy. This guy, this is one of, Grimmy always comes up with this one.
He is
Love
Mr. Broadcom.
Yeah, this one, another one. Look at these targets being hit. Here's another one. Volume increasing on the way down. I'm going to get rid of this, this support level here. We don't need that anymore, and I'm going to move it over here. See, that's why I put that target down to that level of $1,207.05. This is a star favorite to the downside, mainly because the momentum line crossed today. So again, the general rule of thumb for that on the CCI, cross below the zero line or the momentum line. For those who are brand new, understand that when that happens, we generally get 2 to 4 days of continued movement in the direction of the cross. So I'm going to put that as a star favorite to the downside. Anthony, you got that target, right? I hope. I think
Yes.
so. Yeah. Okay. Next.
All right. Listen, Rich D. Kelly and I want to know what's happening with AMD, please.
AMD, this one, I had an upside target that, look at that. It came within pennies. I mean, look at that. Let me see that upside target was 187.5 and the high was 187.24. So we missed that by 26 cents. I mean, see, this is where, I'm being held to the penny on these forecasts. If we were rounding, within 0.5% or so, we would be hitting on probably 90% of these. So right now, you look at AMD, that's getting hit pretty hard on high volume. And so I'm going to go lower on that one, but I got to go find a support level that'll hold. So I got to go to the weekly chart. You see that? Oh, look at that. This is a roll reversal right from that high. So you look at that, and while we're on the weekly, what kind of candle see there, folks? What kind of candle is that? That is a bearish engulfing. So I'm going downside, and I'm going to go all the way down to that roll reversal. Let me see if I can get them to match. That is 133.59, and I gotta change that to 133.59. Let me get that 133.59. There we go, and that's gonna match perfectly right there. So you got that, Anthony? 133.59 on the downside, not a star favorite.
All right, let's go AG for Kristen, please.
All right, this one has a downside target. That was on the list there. I'm keeping that downside target at $6.25, not a star favorite. That's a target that's carrying over. Overall, I think SLV and the other silver and precious metals stocks are going to go go a little bit lower before they see a significant bounce. All right, next.
All right, speaking of target, TGT for Rob Indy, please.
There we go. Target. Look at that thing getting smacked. There's a gap fill. Let me do a horizontal line here and get that exactly to the penny of that high. See that? So that high right there is 154.77. So I'm going to try to get that 154.77. Let me see if I can get that. I'll just move that there. All right, I'm going to move that. I'm going to change it 154.77. You don't see the box that's coming up here, but I'm gonna just make it to match that exact gap fill point. Okay, so that downside target is 154.77, not a star favorite. Next.
Let's go IBKR for Lee, please.
All right, interactive brokers. Don't know how many of you have this as a brokerage company, but we got mixed signals here. You see, we have a bearish engulfing that was followed by a bullish harami. And again, the way you do this is you basically could take all of these. I'm going to slow it down just a little bit. And you can take this and use the summation principle. And what that is, you could take this whole group of 5 stocks, starting with the first one of the 5, and the opening price on that candle is at the bottom of the green. So you move that on over here. There's your opening price. Then you go to the closing price of the last candle, which is right here. See that? Then you go to the high, you put a little dot. You go to the low over here, you put a little dot. What do you have? You basically have a spinning top, which is a sign of indecision. And a sign of indecision is usually found at pivot points. So with all that said, I'm going lower. And it's not going to be by much. I just think it's going to pull right back to this moving average down here. And so let me get my drawing tool back in order there. So I'm going to go right to that moving average, right around 112 or so. So I'll go 113.17, 113.17, because remember that moving average is going to creep up a little bit by the time we get out to that May 4th date right there. So not a star favorite. Next.
Let's go Mara, MARA for Mandy, please.
Yeah, Mandy, this one hit the downside target here. You see that? Now I think we're going to see a move higher. For those equity traders out there, check your member page. I put out a trade publication today in this area. And so I'm looking for a little bit of a bounce. Hopefully those of you who follow my Twitter page or X page, you've seen my comments on Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is going to bounce. Therefore, it could bring Mara up as well. And just a hair under 18. So 1796, not a star favorite. Next.
Great. Let's go Roblox, RBLX for Warren, please.
All right, we got Roblox, right? It's I said Roblox. Anyway, that's a bullish, not a bullish engulfing. I take that back. Is that a pivot though? No, not a pivot. It's a half signal. Momentum is going higher. Let me take a step back. Look at the weekly. See, it doesn't just pop out at you. You gotta slow it down just a little bit. All right, so this is still in a trading channel, but it looks like the weekly indicators are pointing higher. So I'm going to go up. I got to go back to the daily now that I get the better picture. And I'm going to go just up to this level right here, which is 38.02, 38.02, more about $1.50 or so. Next.
All right, let's go RIG for Dan Lindmeyer, please.
Yeah, back to oil drillers. Here we go. This one's going to be bullish. That is a very close to inverted hammer. Mixed signals underneath. Otherwise, I would go with a star favorite, but stochastic going down and CCI starting to hinge up. So it's a cheap stock, but I'm going to $5.54. Next.
All right, let's go LHX for Paul, please.
All right, Paul, sell it. Down to fill the gap. And towards the moving average, downside 208.55. There's a star favorite for you.
Nice. Caterpillar for Carl S, please. CAT.
All right, Carl, that one looks like it could bounce. Again, look at the conflict down there. I got an inverted hammer. I mean, I could do a two-parter on this one, but I'm going to play it safe with Caterpillar going up here. It doesn't look like much, but that's just under 341, so almost $10 to the upside. $340.97, not a star favorite. Next.
Great. Let's go SMCI for Fred V, Darcy, Farouk, and 11 others.
Yeah, this was on the list. So if you saw that, I'm still at my downside target set here, which is 643.33. 643.33. This was for option traders here. I can get rid of that now, but they'll clean up the charts there. So again, 643.33. And we've got a long way to go. It doesn't look like much, but that's a big price move to the downside. Next. Not
All right, let's go Humana. HUM for Stewart, please.
All right. Let me just see the weekly because
We haven't done that one in a while.
yeah, that's not support. You know, people think I'm joking around. That's the bottom of the chart. That's not support. So that is oh, and that's the bottom of the chart too. So I got to go to monthly. Excuse me. Oh man, that is ugly. You know, the monthly charts it's telling us this is way overextended to the downside. So I'm looking for a little bit of a bounce here, but not much. I mean, you got a bullish engulfing there, but I'm going to go a little bit past the halfway point from this high to that low and go with 325. So we got about $9 to the upside. Not, can I make that a star favorite? Yeah, I can. I can make that a star favorite. Bullish engulfing, that's engulfing almost four red candles. We got the oscillators pivoting up, buy signal on the CCI, gap still open above the market. Yeah, star favorite.
Nice. Let's go VKTX for Skylar, please.
All right, Skylar. When was the last time we looked at this one? Oh, it's done a good job. Look at that. That was a pretty bold downside forecast there that hit, and an upside hit as well. Now, I'm going to slow it down because I'm testing the audience. I already know where I'm going with this, but start shouting out on the chat the signals that you see. Bearish Harami, absolutely. Thank you, Tim. Elise, thank you. What else? What else? We see what? Gap below the market? Is there? I didn't even see that. I don't see a gap below the market. It's overbought. Yep. CCI heading down. Yeah, hinging, absolutely. And therefore, we got a long stretch of green that was broken with this red today. So I'm going with a star favorite to the downside, and it doesn't look like much, but it's almost $6 to the downside to the moving average of $70.80.
Okay.
$70.80, yeah.
Let's go Delta Airlines. DAL for Charles, please.
Yeah, this one came up, I think, the week before last. I still have a downside target on this I'm keeping. And look at that. That is 45.08. So we still have about $5 to the downside, which is, that could be a 10% drop in the price of the stock. And all the oscillators are telling me that it's leaning to the downside. So it's not a star favorite, but I'm going to keep it on this. It is a star favorite, but I'm going to keep it off the double star favorite. That's a star favorite to the downside, but that's going to be a long-term forecast on that one. Next.
All right, let's go AXP for Tim Lindsay, his son Jackson, and 3 others.
All right. This was one that was on the list. Hey, Jackson, hopefully you're doing well. That is a downside target that was hit, and the momentum is increasing. Look at the volume. Remember what we looked at last week? You see that? Remember that wide divergence? That's a big one, right? The wide divergence between the K and the D. So I'm going to the downside on that to the moving average. And doesn't look like much, but that's still a good point drop of 226. What is that? 226.66. And that's a star favorite. Next.
Nice. Let's go Triple U for Michael C, please.
All right, Michael. That one looks like it's having a hard time. All right. That one. Oh, I hate these penny stocks. I'm going to go just a little bit lower. This is one I wouldn't even touch with a 10-foot pole. But $1.37. That's all I got. I wouldn't even look at it. Next.
All right, CLSK for Sandy, please.
This one's come up in the past before. Look at that upside target that was hit very nicely here. This one looks like a two-parter at least. Maybe I'm going to go with a 5-parter. Let's go for it. All right, so I think it's going to move down to test that support level. Says point number 1, target is $14.12. Then I think we're going to see the drop in volume after that stretch of red, which will cause the CCI to pivot up. right? So drop in volume is 0.2, CCI pivoting up 0.3. Then the CCI will follow. There's 4, and then right back up. And I think it's going to head right back up to 1697. So percentage-wise, that's a nice stock. That's a nice stock to trade. That's a really nice stock to trade. And again, option traders, they have cheap options out there for you to trade. I would go longer term. I wouldn't go 9-day options, but that's a nice one. Next.
Okay, let's go ANF for Luis, please.
Yeah, this one, I mean, this is absolutely controlled by the institutions, and I'm going down, and this is a double star favorite to the downside. Why? Here's why. Look at that monthly chart. You get a nosebleed just looking at that thing, right? I mean, this thing is unbelievably overbought. So, and it's a pretty expensive stock for, for what it is, I think. But I'm going downside of 113.53, 113.53. Over 100% of the float is controlled by the institutions. I think they're going to start lightening up on that one. As a, what did I say, double star favorite or star favorite?
You said star.
All right,
You
I'm
said
going to leave
double star.
Oh,
double
what do I
star.
know?
All right, go double star, 113.53. Next.
Let's go CRK for Lee, please.
CRK. Comstock Holdings. That one looks like it's in a. Oh, look at this. I got to hold on. This is not going to be a big forecast, but I want to show you what we have here. There is a low connected to that low. There's your trend line. Now, if I draw a line parallel to, close to parallel, there is your channel. So I'm going downside on that because the oscillators are telling me to go downside. And I do believe we're going to cross below that moving average, at which time you're going to most likely see a continued increase in volume. So that is a downside target of 928. Again, it doesn't look like much, but if you could get a 50-cent move on a $9.77 dollar stock, that's a pretty good percentage move. Next.
All right, nice. Let's go Futu, F-U-T-U for Joe Winter, please.
Yeah, this one, again, that was on the list, holding the downside target of 57.41. Next.
Great, let's go UPST Upstart for Jerry, please.
UPST.
Yes, please.
All right, Jerry, hope you're doing well. That is a bullish engulfing, if I've ever seen one. That's doubling as a inverted hammer, going upside to 2408, 2408. So you got about what, 4% move in the stock. Not so bad. Not a star favorite. Look at the oscillators. You got the conflict down there. Next.
Right. Snowflake, SNOW for Rick T, please.
Yeah, this is still an open target. I'm putting a high upside target on this. We hit that very minimal downside target down there, but I have an upside target still in place on this one, a 178.10. I know it's a long stretch, but that is a longer term upside target. In fact, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the horizontal line to keep it in place, representing a long-term target. So what did I say? 178.10. Change the properties on that. 178.10. So it matches up perfectly. 1, 2, 3. There it is. Done. Next.
All right, let's go MicroStrategy, MSTR for Jazz, please.
Yeah, understand they hold a lot of Bitcoin. This company.
10%.
Yeah, they're going to get crushed. I think they're going to get crushed. Now again, in order to show this one, I got to go to /BTC so you could get some context with this. I have an upside target on Bitcoin. Hard to see. It's that green dotted line right there, which represents the 50% retracement on the Fibonacci pullback point, which is from this high to more or less today's low. So I think we're going to get a bounce in Bitcoin, which means that MSTR is most likely going to see a bounce. Here's one that, look what I'm talking about here. When we looked at that one, you have to understand that was trading right around $1,300. This stock has dropped $300 since my last forecast and missed my target price. Look, see, this is what's killing me. I mean, in any other classroom here, that would be considered a home run of a hit. But I have a downside target at 998.19. I'm going to keep that target in place to the downside, and then I think we're going to rally up to this roll reversal here. I don't want to make that too complicated. So it's still it's a two-parter. 998.19 to hit that target. It might even do that tomorrow. Then I think we're going to start to move up to $1,146.05. Great stock to be trading. Great stock. Next.
All right, LCID for newcomer Sherellen, please.
LCIV.
D is in
Oh,
Delta.
LCID. There we go. I'm going to go upside and not a star favorite, but you got momentum going on that after it closed over the moving average. Again, it's a very cheap stock. I try to avoid these unless we're doing a free stock accumulation plan. Your option traders know about that. But that's $2.80, not a star favorite. Next.
Workday, WDAY for Bruce C, please.
All right, Bruce. All right, that one. Oh, man, the momentum is still going down on that. See the increase in volume? But what do we got here? This is a gap fill point. Oh, this is a tough one, but I think it's going to go a little bit lower and then bounce. So I'm going to downside target first, 238.94. Then I think we're going to see the drop in volume. Oscillators are already going up. And then I think we're going to start to rally up. So because stale red light, a drop in volume will get that. Get the buyers, attention. So again, downside target of 238.94, then the drop in volume and up to 249.19. I'm going to put a star favorite on the upside target because we already have a star favorite on the downside target from the other week. Next.
All right, we made it half hour. Tesla, please. TSLA for Joyce.
We're a half hour and we're already, what, Anthony, 36 stocks already? Is that right?
34.
34. I thought I had more. Okay. So I got this little clicker in my hand. I'm trying to, like one of those things you see in church where people are counting people walking in the church. I got one of those little counters in my left hand and I'm typing with my right. Anyway, this is a downside target still in place, 148.19. Next.
Let's go Snap, SNAP for Andrew.
All right, Andrew, let's see what we could do here. Oh, drop in volume and we're very close to this gap fill up here. Wow, look at that. I'm going to go down on this one. And I'm going to say you got stale green light, drop in volume on the way down, 1476. So that's on what, 6%? Yeah. Yeah, I think we're going lower. Next.
Nice. Let's go NIO for Brian, please.
NIO. All right, Brian. This one closed over the moving edge very nicely. I'm going to go up a little bit, then the drop in volume, and then right back down. Here we go. So let me get the volume drop. So upside target, not much more, but 539, then the drop in volume, and right back down below 5, the 442. If you own this stock, a great place to put your stop is $4.99. Why? Because when it drops below 5, the margin requirement goes up. And therefore, people get, they either have to sell some of their shares or bring in more money to hold the position. And they tend to sell their shares when it drops below 5. So again, three-part forecast. We got 539 on the upside, drop in volume, then right back down to 442. Next.
All right, Uber, UBER for Kelly with an E, please.
All right, Kelly, buy it. There's a bullish engulfing. Enough said. There we go. Upside target, star favorite of 69.92. Next.
All right, Michael, notice big volume in UUP. What's up with that, please?
That's $1. That's $1. So we've got, if you look at the dollar, with interest rates remaining higher, just to give you a little fundamentals here, and when interest rates are remaining higher, the dollar becomes more attractive to international currency traders, right? So now with that said, I still think we're going lower, but because that's a bearish harami and we have a wide divergence in the moving average and a sell signal today. Now this one does not move really very big. So I'm going down to 28.80, not a star favorite. Next.
All right, SMH, shake my head for McLovin, please.
Yeah, this is one that's still on the list. I'm keeping that downside target. I'm not going to spend a lot of time because it's already been mentioned last week. 198.83. Next.
All right, Lulu, LULU for Eric Anders, please.
Here's another one mentioned on the list. Downside target still in place at 350.01. Next.
All right, Cisco, CSCO for Stretty, please.
Yeah, we did not talk about this one last week, and that one looks like a buy. Inverted hammer. There we go. Upside. Star favorite. There we go. 47.78. Now, folks, hold on. Let me slow down. You see how quickly? Now, if I was not talking, it would literally take me a half a second to say buy. A half a second. If I didn't have to explain it to you. This is why I tell our members to look at least 20 stocks a day, recognize engulfing or inverted hammers or hanging men or hammers here. See this? There's a hammer, it goes up, right? There's a bearish harami, it goes down, right? There's a doji at a pivot point, generally signals bearishness. There's a bullish engulfing. You see that went up. See, when you do this over and over and over again, the pattern or the signal will pop right out within seconds. Now, that's what practice does. It's going through the reps, 20 stocks a day. And if you have to draw your own forecast lines on there, do it. And then next week, go check your target, see how you did, right? Upside target 47.78, and that is a star favorite. Next.
All right, let's go ENB for Lori, please.
All right, Lori, that's going to be, ooh, man, we have a bearish harami. That's a bearish Marabuzo yesterday, followed by a bullish harami. Boy, it doesn't get more confusing than that. See, now when you get that, you got to slow down a little bit because that's not as pronounced, right? I'm still going to go downside because if they would have closed a couple of pennies lower, it would have been a red candle. So I'm going downside on that. I think the general market's going to get hit, and I think this one could come down with it. So downside at 35.03. I wish I had more of a convincing signal. Otherwise, that would have been a star favorite, but I can't put it on the star favorite. Next.
Let's go CART, C-A-R-T for Peachy Keen, please.
Peachy Keen, that one is bullish. Look at that. We got a pivot, full-fledged pivot, higher low, higher high, about to cross the momentum line, going up to 37.07. So what do you got? About 3% move to the upside. Next.
All right, LRN for Gene, please.
Sell it. There we go. Downside, pivot all the way, increase in volume on the way down, sell signal on the CCI. Here's the star favorite to the downside, 64.69. 60. Now, slow it down just a little bit because we're way ahead of the game on this. We got, what do we got? 23 minutes and I'm already over 40 stocks. Now, listen, when I draw this line on a stock such as this is not for investors at all. This is not for investors. This is for swing traders and option traders, right? You saw my downside target on the daily. Now, this is only Wednesday, so we could still see some more downside red on that weekly candle. And while that's happening, the CCI on the weekly is already way overbought. It's the second highest overbought reading in 3 years. This was the highest back here, you see? So I'm going downside on that. And I'm going to put it as a star favorite. Yeah, downside target, 64.69. Next.
All right, let's go CVX for Bassam, please.
Yeah, there's Chevron. We got that one as a position. Starting to move a little bit away from our short strike, but I think we're going to go a little bit lower on Chevron. I'm just going to go downside at 158. And then we'll have to see if we get a more drop in volume. And the reason I'm not going much further than that is because if you look at the weekly on this one, it's still in a significant channel here. You see, it's still in this upward channel right here. See, so if it comes down to my target right there, we could see a little bit of a bounce. They're starting to overdo it on the sell side for the oil. So next one.
All right, let's go OIH for West Coast Gen.
That's going to be pretty much the same thing. We hit the downside target already from last week, going a little bit lower. Why is that? Because of the increase in volume. And then I guess I could put another forecast here. Drop in volume, CCI, look how oversold that is. Then I think we'll eventually get the pivot on the stochastic. We got this wide divergence from the moving average. And then I think we'll start to go up. So again, downside target, 303.89. And here's what I'm going to do. If Adrian's on, I'm putting the star favorite price to the upside at 315.94. All right. Anthony, how many is that? We have 43? Am I close?
46, but can you explain how you're doing that star favorite again?
Yeah, so my downside target is 303.89. I'm not putting a downside star favorite to that price. I'm putting a star favorite to the upside. So to make it easy, the emphasis is on the upside 315.94 target.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, let's revisit your SLV, please, for Maryland.
I still think it's going a little bit lower. I know that looks like a pivot, and it is. But if you look at what's happening with the dollar, if the dollar continues to rally longer term, it's going to push silver down because the attractive dollar is inversely related to SLV. There could be a little bit of a rally up to fill that gap, but then I think we're going right back down. So I'm not going to move that downside target at 23.58. All right.
All right, let's go ABR for Chad, please.
This is one that came up last week. I'm still keeping that downside target, which is right there at 1260. Oh, wait a minute. Did we hit that target? We hit that target.
Now that we hit it.
Oh, okay. So I could get rid of all this. We hit that target. I don't think I marked it as a hit. All right. So that's going down and right back to the moving average. Why? Because it's stuck in this range here. I mean, it's just stuck. 1264. That's all I got because it's just doing nothing except going sideways. Next.
All right, Citigroup C for Kelly G.
Yeah, this is another one. I have downside targets still in place on that one. What is that? Hold on, get that. That is $60.11. It's still in play. Next.
All right, Bristol Myers BMY for David, please.
Yeah, we get a lot of action. Pfizer had some movement today, and this one, it's been pounced on, but I think it's oversold. Let me take a step back and look at the weekly on that. Oh, I got to take a monthly now. I can't find support. Where's support? Oh, there it is. There's support right at that low. All right, now I got to take that low. I'm just doing it slowly. Let me get my horizontal line. Got to take that low, which is 42.48. Let me get my little cursor, 42.48. Get as close as I can right there. All right. And I got to change it to 42.48 because that's a weekly chart. And that is going to be my target right there. So now I go back to the daily. Come on, get back to the daily. And that's where my target, oh, geez, I just hit it too many times. That's going to be removed. All right, so now 42.48 is my downside target right there. It's got a very pronounced downward trend. You might get a little bit of a bounce on the way, but I think downside 42.48 is a reasonable target. Next.
All right, let's go GAU for Mark Toon, please.
GAU. All right, Mark, what do we got there? Drop in volume on the way up. Oscillators are confused. I'm going down. Let me get that other line going because I don't want to use the dotted line. All right, I'm going down to the moving average, and that is $1.54. I wouldn't trade it. Too cheap. Next.
All right, KMI for Dan, please.
KMI. Dan, that one looks like it wants to bounce, but the volume is still going. So there's a little gap down here. You see that? I think that's going to act as support. So I'm going to go almost to the gap. So here we go. Part one, downside target is 17.99. Then the drop in volume. I'm only going to do a three-parter. You know what happens with the oscillators when the volume drops. And then right back up to what will be the moving average of 18.45. I think you're just going to see a whole lot of this happening all over again. I think you can see that type of a pattern all over. All right, next.
Let's go Devon Energy, DVN for James S, please.
Yeah, it's a great dividend on this one. Devon Energy, upside target hit very nicely here. This one, look at the left here. Target hit, downside and upside hit, downside hit, upside hit, upside hit, upside hit. All right, now where are we going? We're going upside. I think that is very close to a hammer. Look at that CCI, so oversold. I'm not going to put this as a star favorite because we don't have any hinges yet, and the oscillators are conflicting. But I'm putting a $52.15 move to the upside, so you're talking, what, 4% to the upside. Next.
Let's go match MTCH for Elise, please.
MTCH. Have we looked at this one? Yeah, a long time
A
ago.
while ago, yeah.
That target pretty quickly. What do we got? Pivot? I don't know. We have a pivot. Yeah, we got a pivot. Higher low, higher high. Slight drop in volume on the way down. That's all I got. Oscillators are conflicting, but I'm going to go up to 32.10. Not a star favorite. Next.
All right, James and Laura would like APD, please.
Hey, James. Hey, Laura. Hope you're doing well. Laura, hope the hospital's not keeping you too busy. I know how hard those nurses work in there. So let me see. We got downside that did a good job there. Conflict again on the oscillators. Oh man, it's stuck in this range. You see this? Drop in volume with this super long stretch of green, stale green light, shadow on top. I don't have much to go on because of this very narrow range. So I'm going down to 231.51. So we're talking almost 6 points to the downside. Next.
All right, let's go Amazon, please, for Daisy.
Yeah, this one hit the downside target very nicely. Drop in volume. This is still high volume though. Conflict hinging on the stochastic, cross over the momentum line. I'm going to do a two-parter on Amazon, upside and then right back down. Upside target 184.51 and then right back down to 176.66. Let me just see what's happening after hours on this one.
Well, they reported earnings yesterday, the other day.
And they just this one got punished with the rest of the market in the last hour. You see that?
Yep.
They crushed that one. But I still think they're going to try to rally. It's a mega cap stock that's held by a lot of institutions. I think they're going to make an attempt to push it to the high, and then I think they're going to fail. So 176.66 on the downside. Next.
All right, let's go NVDL for Bob S, please.
All right, Bob. All right, downside pivot, upside volume, meaning the volume is increasing, oscillator is going down. $30.60. So we've got what? That's almost a 9% move to the downside. So that's a star favorite to the downside. Next.
Nice. Easy, EASY for Brent B, please.
EASY, easy. Not so easy. What is that? EASY?
Yep. We've done it a couple times.
EAS. Is it
I mean,
is it
it's-
ESY?
Yeah, easy. It's pulling up a ticker for you. It's spinning.
That's not going though.
All right. No worries. We'll move forward. Let's go uranium. URNM for Kevin, please.
All right, this one again stuck in a range. You see this? It's like from 48 to 56. Oscillators are moving up. Volume is increasing on the way up. I'm just going slightly higher because you got all this resistance up here. So upside target of 53.59. 53.59. You could trade that one. Next.
Speaking of trading, let's go TLT for Anderson, please.
Yeah, this one I think came up last week. Yeah, it is. It's still upside target on that one of $90.53. Next.
All right, we've gone 48 minutes without talking about NVIDIA, please. NVDA for Tina.
That's incredible. Downside. There we go. Increased volume on the way down. I think NVIDIA is going to get hit tomorrow. Look at the momentum down below. Star favorite 748.58. That's a big move though.
Bearish.
Doesn't look like much, but look at that volume. Look at the oscillators. Look at the momentum cross. That's all pointing lower, and that is a star favorite. Next.
All right, Square SQ for Sam, please.
Yeah, that one, filled the gap on the left here, but left a gap on the way down. Let me see, slow it down a little bit. It's looking pretty oversold, but that increase in volume, that tells me we want to go down to that support level. So I'm going down to 63.10, 63.10. Next.
Nice. SoFi, SOFI for AK, please.
Yeah, this one I think came up last week too, or the week before last. I still got an upside target up here of $8.09. Look at that bullish engulfing. I'm still going with that one. Still keeping that one on. $8.09. Next.
All right, Nike, please. NKE for Christine Plee.
All right, Christine. That one has increased volume on the way down, but it's got a long stretch of red. Two-parter. Downside to completely fill the gap all the way to the left. See that gap? So I'm going downside, completely fill that at 89.19. And then I think you'll see the drop in volume. So there's part two. CCI will start to head up, and the stochastic will head up, ultimately leading us to a gap fill above the market at 92.35. Star favorite, down and up. There we go. Next.
All right, let's go Goldman Sachs, please. GS for Jeff Clark and Mike,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah, this was last week too. I'm keeping that downside target right there at 413.22. Next.
LYV for Alice, please.
LYV. Oh, this one is bottoming out. You see this? It's just, it wants to find support right here, and I think it's found it. I do. I think it's found it, but we got a half signal here. I can't do anything with confidence except go up just a hair because that gap is going to act like a price magnet. So 91.38, and that's not even close to being a star favorite. Next.
All
Real
right.
quick, can you just go back to GS? I missed your target on that one.
Oh, that was from last week. That was down at 413.22.
Thank you.
All right, next.
Let's go LCRX for Amit, please.
LCRX. This is Lamb Research. LCRX. Isn't that Lamb?
Yeah.
LRCX.
Oh.
Is it
I'm sorry.
LR?
Actually, no, my bad.
Okay, that's Lamb Research. All right, that's oh, it wants to go a little bit lower. Look at the oscillators turning. So increase in volume tells me a little bit lower. So I'm going with that to 849.66. Again, it doesn't look like much, but you're talking 19 points to the downside, that little blip there. I'm still downside on that, but not a star favorite. Next.
Let's go Valero VLO for BC, please.
Yeah, this one I think came up the week before last, and it hit that target perfectly. Momentum's still going down, but then you know what? I see that target to the left there. I'm keeping that downside target right there in place at 152.11. So we still have about $3 to the downside. Next.
All right, let's go Gush GUSH for Marion.
Yeah, this one could make you sick if you're not used to managing risk. That's for sure. That's a slight gap down today, but look at that volume. I think we got another two-parter. I may be a five-parter here. Here we go. Downside target 35.86. Drop in volume. I think we'll see a dramatic drop in volume, which will cause the CCI to go up. There's 3. 4, you're going to see the stochastic start to pivot up after that CCI. The CCI usually leads the stochastic. So, right, so 35.86 on the downside. Then after all that, it's going to go right back up towards this gap here of 39.17. Next.
All right, let's go CCJ, please, for James H.
All right, Cameo Corp. This one hit the downside target very nicely here. Oscillators are mixed, but I'm going to go upside because of the drop in volume and the long stretch of red. 49.15, not a star favorite.
AAP for Jim, please.
ADP?
Alpha, Papa.
All right, that one looks like inverted hammer, drop in volume. Oh, this is a miss. I got this gap down here that is filled. I'm going to go downside, but I think it's going to bounce first. Don't even count the downside on that one. I'm just putting that in there for the gap fill support. I'm going upside 75.10, so we got a couple of bucks to the upside. Next.
Let's go BITO for Aaron, please.
All right, this one went out to our members today. I'm going upside on this one. It's inverted hammer. I'm going to put that target right at the gap fill right there at 25.73. 25.73. Next.
All right, let's go Freeport FCX for Anthony, please.
All right, Anthony, this one looks like it wants to go a little bit lower. Look at the oscillators pivoting, increase in volume on the way down. I don't have much to go on the downside because you got support down here. I'm wondering if this 47.10, did that hit? Let's see, 47.10. Yeah, look at that. 47.10 was the target. That low right there was 47.10 to the penny and then bounce. Look at that. So we're going right back down to 48.23. Next.
All right, SLB for Ashkaya, please.
Schlumberger, this one came up last week. That's still going on the upside 52.65. Next.
TNX for Rachel, please.
T is in Tom.
Yes, please.
Tango, TNX. It's a treasury index. Why isn't this coming up?
I think
Maybe
Swim
it's
is ahead.
/ TNX? No, it's TNX. I know, I pulled this up before. Not going. I'm so sorry.
right.
about
All right,
that.
let's go AMAT for Jerry, please.
All right, that one still wants to go down, cross below the momentum line, 2 to 4 days downside support down here. There you go, downside target of 188.32. So we got about $5 to the downside. Next,
Let's go UNG for Todd P, please.
UNG, United States Natural Gas, stuck in a range. Look at that, does a good job hitting targets. Look at that mishmash of confusion down here. See that? But it is holding support right there. That's a good thing. And a gap down. So I'm going upside to the moving average. Not a big move, but that's all you got because this doesn't move that much. 1475. Next.
I don't,
Alright, AJ.
not, I don't want to mess you up, but
Yes,
they changed the symbol.
Yeah, CGI is the new TNX, please.
Whoop, on TNX?
Yes. So Charlie, Golf, India.
Oh. Charlie go CGI is not it either.
Huh. All right. Well, that's not working.
Anthony, what did you get? Anthony, what did you see?
The whole thing. So it has to be TNX CGI.
Oh, TNX CGI. Really?
Oh, there's a colon. TNX colon CGI.
What a pain. It
Oh,
wasn't meant.
a colon?
Yeah,
T-
colon.
Colon CGI.
They make it really easy to find this one.
Why did they do that? I didn't even know. All right. Boy, you would think this one would have more action after the Fed. I'm going downside with that to fill the gap right there. That is 45.27. Not much, but that's what I got. Next.
All right. UNH for our first anonymous today, please.
UNH. United Health. That one hit the upside target very nicely. Momentum, it crossed the momentum line. No, but I think tomorrow it will. So I think we're going a little bit lower towards filling this gap. That doesn't look like much, but that's a big move. That's you're talking $15 to the downside of 469.26. And that is a star favorite because I think it'll cross the momentum line. So star favorite to the downside. Next.
All right. Let's go QS for Blair, please.
QuantumScape, I like this one. It looks like it wants to go up. Look at the cross on the momentum line. It doesn't move much. That's all I got. There you go. $5.70.
All right.
Next.
I've had 11 people ask me for now. They just reported recently, I believe yesterday, but Starbucks. Do you dare look at that? Because
Well, the earnings is already out.
right, but I mean,
I love this one.
The move was crazy.
I love Starbucks down here. Now I'm not talking about the coffee. I love the stock down here. Now, here's going to be a double star favorite, but it has to be a contingent upon the drop in volume, right? I even think it's going to drop just a tad tomorrow, but after that drop in volume, I'm going right back up to this level right here of 82. So forget the downside. I'm just looking for the drop in volume. Double star favorite to the upside, contingent upon the drop in volume up to 82.92. Next.
Roku, ROKU for Melanie, please.
ROKU. Now, is this number 80?
I think 80.
It is
80 or
indeed.
81.
It is 80.
Have we ever done 80 and still had time left over? I don't know. This is crazy. I don't feel like I'm going fast. Well, this one again, stuck in a range, and I think it's going to go over that momentum line tomorrow. And so I'm going higher, but look, I can't really go much higher because it's got resistance all up here. So I'm going at $60.87. You got a 2% to the upside. That's it. And with that, let me just add a quick comment. Now, I could say this because it's true, and I like to tell the truth as many times possible when it comes to the market, especially. But YouTube is giving us a hard time. I guess I'm talking too political for them, and so we're going to be migrating. We're going to be migrating to Rumble, and I want to show you the site here. Let me see if I can get the. Let me go to my channel here. And I'm going to ask that you all go ahead, and I just set this up. So I only have 14 followers. Let me show you what it looks like here. So I just set this up last night. This is what the weekly market report and the midweek market report is going to look like on Rumble. Now, we're going to go as long as we can until YouTube completely shuts us down. We're going to keep doing shorts and things like that on YouTube, but I am a First Amendment person, and I took an oath with my right hand in the air to defend the Constitution of the United States. I'm sorry, I'm not an apologetic. If that offends you, I am so sorry for you. I am all about free speech. So if Rumble says I can't say something, then I go find, if YouTube says I can't say something, then I'm going to go somewhere else than YouTube. And if I'm going to spend all that time building a channel, I might as well start from scratch on Rumble. So if you folks want to go on there, just go click the follow button. It's off to the right over there. And I'll love to have you come on over.
So AJ, just to confirm, we nothing's official. Everything's status quo. We're being proactive, but we're here for now.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Go as long as it can, but my backup is to go and move it on over to Rumble. So with that said, we went 60 minutes, talked about 80 stocks, had a lot of chit chat in the middle, and I had a good time, especially listening to that music at the beginning. Back in the day, that was one of my favorite songs. So anyway, folks, have a good rest of the week. We'll talk to you in the next video. So long.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, thanks, Ann. Thanks, Nod.